Uh, there we go. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for showing up to our meeting this morning. I do appreciate it. We're going to go through a couple of things, mainly housekeeping, and then at the end, towards 10:30, 9:30 your time, most of you, we will have Randy from Avery joining us to go over a couple of new products and to just go over Avery in general. As you all know, we already have turned back on direct order for them at this point for most everything. And it's still slow, guys, just because they were so backlogged and so much in disarray. But it is getting much, much better than it was. Okay. Last month seemed to be pretty good. I have not looked at the numbers. In fact, I'll just go ahead and do that real quick. It wasn't as good as most every other month that we've had this year, but that's expected because of the fact that it is November. Most everybody, for whatever reason, takes off, me included. So it's just one of those things. Looks like we ended up at 101.73%. Not good for the month, but better than, I guess, a lot of others. So that's the best we can do. Did anybody have any questions regarding last month? Any major issues that I'm not aware of?
I don't think so.
Okay. Let's see here. Next week, or actually this week, starting tomorrow, I will be in jury duty. It is my last week of jury duty that I'm aware of. We expect that it will be the last one I'll have to do. Yay! I don't have to do jury duty anymore. I've been doing it all year, as you all know. And the only reason is if we happen to get a case that we have to stick around to listen for more things that come up over the next couple of months. However, that very rarely happens. We don't expect it to happen. So as of this week, this will be my last week of jury duty, so I'll be free for next year, which is really good. I'm tired of it. Next week, I will be in Tulsa for the entire week. I leave Sunday and I won't get back until the following Sunday. I'm going to be, after we're done in Tulsa, I'll be going to Kansas City on Thursday afternoon after the meetings. So I'm going to drive up to Kansas City and go to the football game Thursday night. So I won't be really much available, guys. I still will be just slow to respond, as you guys know. Do me a favor. If there is something that is pressing that I need to bring up at the manager's meeting, send me an email, like today or tomorrow. If there's something that you guys want me to bring up or want me to find out more information, I guess, about it, please send me an email. Okay? Does anybody right now have anything that you can think of? Brian, you're not allowed to say raise. Not going to happen. All right. I really don't have much, guys. I mean, it's pretty simple. I hope everybody enjoyed our meeting at Arlon. Did everybody enjoy that? Did you guys get a lot out of it? Or let me ask you this. Is there anybody that would wish they didn't go or had not gone? Anybody have any major issues with what they presented, how they presented, or what they went over?
No, I'll speak for the team. I think it was eye-opening for everybody. I think it was a good time, not only for all of us to come together, but the hands-on, the visual on, the understanding of the process. It was laid out pretty well for a very short term, for them getting it all together really quick. They did a really good job. I was impressed, even though, I don't like Arlon,
I
but
know and honestly, guys, this is the one person, him and Carly, who I really wanted to make sure enjoyed and understood exactly everything about Arlon, because they're the two uh, proponents against Arlon.
yeah, so it definitely helped out. The communication was very well. Just overall, it was a good thing. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of takeaway with it. I've already responded back to George for hand samples and stuff to fill up my small bins in my car for customer handout.
Okay.
So, overall, yes, it was very good.
All right. Carly?
I never had a problem with Arlon. Maybe it was a customer that did. I had several that were really not happy with Arlon, but
Okay.
no,
Well,
I'm fine with Arlon.
you're the only,
Yeah.
you were the only other one that had always expressed or had customers expressed that they didn't like Arlon because of what happened years ago. So,
Exactly.
okay.
That's all. I'm fine with Arlon. I talk with, I did talk with Dennis quite often,
Okay.
got samples and on and on like that. Now we won't be anymore, I guess. So
Yeah, well, as soon as we get that new person involved in that hopefully will change.
yeah.
In fact, that brings me to something else that I just found out this morning. Everybody remembers who Jennifer Smith was or is?
Yes.
Yeah, Jennifer Smith is no longer with Fellers, unfortunately. It's not like you guys dealt with a lot with her unless you had a lot of special order items that we were stocking for 3M.
Right.
But we'll be replacing her. Any email or any request that you have for stocking or anything, send it to customer.requests. Right, Brian? Customer.
Yeah, it's going to Kurt Schneider right now. Obviously, you saw all the emails that I blasted out this morning in regards, because I worked with her very closely for my SPAs on my 3M stuff. So she was very, very good. I don't know why we lost her or what happened, but it is what it is. And what have you. So now, obviously, Kirk knows what he's doing. I'm not doubting him in any way, shape, or form. It's just learning a process all over again. So those of you that have SPAs that you have to auto replenish yourself, meaning by email, at least that's what I had to do, and Mary had to do as well. So it's just a new learning curve.
Just send it to customer.request, because that actually gets that email will get then looked at by everybody who is in that department. Okay. And if you don't know how to turn on and manage your SPAs and your stock level in your warehouse, get with me and or Brian, because Brian is really, really good at this to make sure that he lets customer or the department know when to turn things off, when to turn it back on, when to slow it down, when to make changes to it. So it's very important that you monitor your level of everything that you have in your warehouse as far as SPAs or special products that you bring in to have stock for that particular customer. Okay? And make sure that your customers know that they're responsible for that product that's in the warehouse if we do a special order stock request for them. Okay? Questions? Okay, good. What was the other thing? Now I can't remember. I guess it doesn't matter. Next year, we're going to have, as you guys know, as far as the emails that I sent to you regarding some of the changes, we're going to find out more this next week while I'm in Tulsa as far as changes that we're going to make. Okay, not a lot, not going to be anything big. One of the changes is going to be, of course, in sales, making sure that we are at a specific level. We don't have much of an issue here in the West. It is a big issue for the other, believe it or not, most everybody in the West is above and has done a great job this year. However, they can't say the same in the other regions. But it is something that we will be talking about in our managers meeting, and just want to make sure that everybody understands. I have final say on that. If it gets really bad and you guys are not getting even to 100%, then we're going to need to talk and really make sure that we're doing things correctly. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. Second thing on that is nothing will change as far as your gold mine notes. I haven't run the report, but I did run it about a week ago, just looking, spot checking, and you guys are lacking a little bit on your gold mine reports, okay, on your calls and everything else as far as putting them into gold mine. That will not change, and that is actually going to be a little bit more, it's, as you guys know, has already been looked at more strongly. And I protect you guys, just to let you know. I don't tell you all the different things that are going on, all the emails that I get regarding it. But make sure, just understand, starting the first of next year, it's going to get even more intense as far as who's looking at that report that we get every morning, as far as who made the calls the day before or who put gold mine notes in and things like that. You guys don't see it, I do. I've put things off until the beginning of next year because it's the end of the year. People are on vacation. You're not getting a lot of people not getting a lot of things done. I understand. But that's going to be very important. Again, it is every year. I don't stop saying it, and I'm not going to ever stop saying it. Gold mine reports need to be done. Okay, I'm done with that. Off my soapbox. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up or talk about at this point in time? Yes?
No.
Yeah, the new expense reporting through Paycom.
Very good.
I am curious if Alan has put together a video on that yet.
He has not, actually. I'll be talking with him today. That's one of the things that I was going to talk with him today about. Thank you for bringing it up. On putting a video together, make sure everybody knows how to do that. Does anybody right now have questions on the new way to do your expense report? If you have not done one, make sure that you get with Vicki, and she can walk you through it, and I will, or you can get with me, call me, and I can walk you through it. Yes, Angel?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
I thought you were going to, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay. But yeah, that is a new way of doing things, and it actually is, once you know how to do it, it's really easy, really simple, and it's a lot less time consuming than the other reports that we've have done. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay. Damn. Something else I was going to bring up, and I can't. Guys, I'm sorry. My brain has had a really good weekend. My wife and I went to the casino, had a great time, went to go see Eddie Money, and now I'm just, it was a good weekend. Just had a great weekend.
Too much fun.
Yeah.
Rock on, Ted.
If anybody remembers who Eddie Money is, he's got a lot of hits out there and everything else. Unfortunately, he is looking like he's really sick on stage. So kind of sucked as far as that goes. But his daughter was on stage with him and his sons, and they really brought the show back and really helped a great deal. So
Love Eddie Money.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Foghat's coming to Tacoma New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay. Well,
Right?
the show was still good. Don't get me wrong.
Good. That's great.
He's just lost his voice, and
Oh.
yeah, but he still tries and does a pretty good job of putting on a good show. Like I said, he's looking a little bit sickly, but I think it could be he had the flu or something. I'm just not sure. But the rest of his family, because his family is most of the rest of the band, including his daughter, who is a backup singer with him. But
How cool that is. Wow.
yeah. And she does, I mean, she's got a great voice. I like her voice. So they really help.
You pass it on.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Cool.
right.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. I'm just totally, I can't remember what I was going to say. I guess it's not. Okay. 3M rolls. From what I understand, sample rolls of 3M material, I guess I will have access to. I'm not sure yet. But that is something that I have not had access to. And from what I understand, we're supposed to get that access back. I'm not sure. So I will let you guys know. That'll be happening beginning next year. But all the sample materials and things like that, some of which are out of stock until next year. I've already talked to who has asked for certain things that they're out of stock. Same with some of the Orifal material is out of stock for their hand samples currently. Not a lot, but there are some. So keep that in mind when you're sending me requests. That I will do everything I can, but if it's out of stock, there's nothing we can do. The 3M and Avery wall displays. The 3M, we have a couple left. Avery, we are out of stock on and will not have until next year, probably first quarter. Not sure exactly when. Just keep that in mind. We don't have any more of the Avery wall displays, and we only have a couple left of the 3Ms. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that. And 3M color booklets for the 1080. Don't ask. It's not happening until we were supposed to get them November 15th. It didn't happen. Now they're saying December. So don't ask for any for personal because it's not going to happen anymore. They will not send them out to you because we have to pay for them and we got to pay hard for them. So it's one of those things, you order them online and a customer can actually order them, or you can order them for the customer. Cost $10. You can give one per customer, but you have to get approval through me. Okay, you can't give them away anymore, guys. That's going to happen along the way with Avery and Orifal as well. It's been going on. It's been coming up. We made that change about a year and a half ago that this was going to happen. We haven't stuck to it, but now Avery, 3M, and Orifal are sticking it to us more and more. So Orifal's a little bit easier because they don't do a lot in the 970 as much as Avery and with the SW900 and the 1080. So that's why 3M has really stuck to their guns, and they're starting to make it very hard for us to even get any more. They're allocating the booklets to us and to everybody, all the distributors. So, okay. Questions on that? Okay.
Does Avery even have any yet? Are they still on back orders? The spandex, are they still on? They've been on back order forever.
That's possible. I don't know. I don't look at the Avery because I don't do it much, but it's a possibility because I know like the 1080 from 3M, we have been waiting and waiting and has been back order. So I would assume, yeah, probably true with the Avery as well. I don't have an answer for that, but I will be talking. Keep in mind, I'll be talking. We can ask this today, but actually, let's not. Let me talk to them on next week because I'll be talking with 3M, Avery, and Orif all next week, as well as Arlon.
I was told for on Avery last week that it would be another 3 weeks before they'd have an answer of when they would be available.
Okay, so let's thank you very much for that input, and I'm going to say then probably not till next year.
Okay.
Hey, well, Tad,
Yeah.
As long as this is coming down from the manufacturers, that we as OSRs can't get these anymore.
Yep.
I mean, I'm good with that. If they're making up the rules, so it's like they're pushing our customers to order them at fellers.com, and we no longer have access to them, right?
That is for the most part. Avery, I don't know about as much as I do 3M. The only thing I can tell you is they are allocating a certain number to each distributor, from what I understand. And that makes it very difficult for us to give them away like we used to in the past. Even this past year, when we started charging for them, they became constrained, as everybody knows. We are on back order for those books by the thousands at this point, and they've already told us you're going to get an allocation of 1,200 for the entire first half of the year, which makes it very difficult for us to do a lot of things. I'm sure that will change as far as the allocation, but I don't know exactly to what and if that's going to free things up anymore. I doubt it will, but hopefully I'll find out more information about that next week.
So are you saying the 1,200 is to sell online, Feller's website?
Yes, that's the only allocation we will have, meaning we will not be able to get any in our personal inventory. That's gone. Okay, at this point in time, that's what I understand. We will have one for ourselves to be able to take around, but we can't give it away. We can't just say, oh, here, let me go ahead and give you a book or a Fandex. Okay. Now, they may change things if they get enough people saying this is bullshit and everything else. But if Avery's doing the same thing and Orifal may go to that as well, then they have nothing they can say because that means the industry is changing. So
how about the color cards? For high performance and
color cards are a little bit different. Color cards are a little bit different because they're just a very small little sample. That's a lot easier for them to produce rather than the ones, because these booklets, the booklets are easy because they can be mass produced. The color decks are not easy to do. Just if you guys don't know what is involved in the color deck, you guys can take it apart and take colors out and everything else. But those have to be done by hand. They actually are produced and put together by hand. They can't be done in a machine because there's a special order that the colors go in. And especially if they have all these other fan decks that they've had and they decide to go ahead and change color or do something different, then they'll have somebody actually go in by hand and change those colors out. That doesn't really happen very much. They'll just come out with a new book or a secondary pack. But those are all done by hand. That's why it costs close to $80 to produce those things. Each one costs between $50 and $80. So
US dollars?
I'm sorry, It costs fellers, just so that you know, it costs fellers $45 per book.
Don't we take off from point? I thought that 3M gave us some kind of point, like whatever.
Well, that
like a
is
credit.
correct. Keep in mind, the marketing points that we spend, that's actual dollars. We get a certain allotment of marketing points from 3M and from Avery, or actually Orifal. Avery doesn't give us marketing points. That's when, because they don't do marketing points the same way. But we have a certain allotment of marketing points, and that goes for everything. For instance, 3M, when I send out a little color card to you, it costs $5 per color card, okay, of marketing points. We get 150,000 marketing points per quarter. Now, sending out and doing like I did for Brian and who was the other person I sent a whole bunch of them to?
I think Paula.
Paula. Okay, so I spent close to 10,000 points to send out the color cards that I sent to them, and that was just 10 of each. So it gets real expensive. The reason I bring that up is because we're one division. That's two sales reps. Three sales reps, because Brian and Mary shared. So think about that nationwide, trying to use up 150,000 points. And then on top of that, we do have extra points usually at the end of the year or end of the fiscal year for 3M, to where we can actually spend to be able to do things for our customers. Or even when I have you guys wrap your cars. Some of that is 3M, some of that is Avery, and that's just extra that we had available. Not very often do we actually have that much available or extra. That's why it's coming down. It costs a lot of money for us, because if we use up the marketing points to do everything else, we don't have the marketing points to do other things like special events and things like that when we do things with those marketing points with 3M and Oracle. Okay?
Hey, Richard, did you get all the stuff I shipped you?
Richard? Hello?
All right, brother. Sorry, I was on the phone. Yeah, bro, I got everything.
You got
Thanks.
it all?
Yeah, I got it all. That you hooked me up.
Okay. If you guys need things from 3M or Orifal as far as marketing materials, please let me know.
Hey, Ted, this is Randy. I just jumped on.
Who's that? Is that Randy?
Hey, Ted, this is Randy. I just jumped on the call.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you and the team.
Yes, I appreciate you getting on there. And we just actually, I think we just finished up with everything I had to go through. So everybody, Randy from Avery, Randy Schutte, is on the call with us now. He'd like to go over a few things that Avery has, a couple maybe new products, things like that. So if you can, please pay close attention to what he has to say, and ask any questions when you need to. Okay, Randy, take it away.
Hey, Ted, I really appreciate that. I also just wanted to let the team know that I've got my counterpart, David Timmerman, also going to be joining us this morning.
Yep, I'm here. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for joining us. And then, unfortunately, Tamara Berman is catching a flight this morning back to Cleveland, back to our offices back in Ohio. So she, unfortunately, won't be able to join us. But we're going to take notes for Tamara if there's any specific requests coming out of her area of the market. So what I wanted to do, I don't think I'll have more than 30 minutes at the most, Ted. I appreciate you giving us the time this morning. I just really wanted to talk to people about some of the new products that we've recently introduced, some of the exciting things that we've got in the pipeline, even moving into 2019. And also just wanted to, number one, thank everybody on this phone call for their patience and their level of support of Avery Dennison, as well as us on the phone over the last 12 months, because it has been challenging. We've gone through a new ERP upgrade, codenamed Symphony, as far as our systems upgrades and things like that. And we appreciate the patience and your support this year. Things are getting a heck of a lot better just over the last 6 weeks. I track your open orders on a daily basis, and we've cut those open orders by about 60% just over the last week. So we're on board to have another really, really good end to the year and another good year with Fellers moving forward. So I like to keep these meetings. If anybody has any questions, I think you guys all know Dave and I well enough. Hopefully you're comfortable enough with us to ask any questions. No question's a dumb question, like my teacher used to tell me. So, now's an opportunity to ask any questions, or if you want to send an email to us after the conference call, feel free to do so. So let's kick off with some exciting new products that we just introduced recently at the SEMA show in Las Vegas last month. And for you that weren't there or have heard about it, we introduced 5 new Supreme wrapping film colors. And what I've got to say, in the 8 years that I've been with Avery, are some of the coolest new colors that we've ever released. And we're listening to you folks, we're listening to the installers, we're listening to the consumers, we're following, the paint industry and the fashion industry and trying to find out what are going to be the cool and sexy colors moving forward. And I think we've got 5 colors that are going to hit a home run moving forward. So just wanted to make sure that you all were familiar with these new colors: the matte olive green, the satin dark basalt, the gloss rock gray, which is my personal favorite, the satin safari gold, and the sand sparkle. You should have received from Fellers Corporate some smaller than usual hand samples of these 5 colors. Just wanted to make sure that y'all have them. And we're going to talk about samples moving forward and material sponsorship requests. But is everybody familiar with these 5 new colors that we've recently launched to the market?
Yes.
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 Cool.
Yeah.
Any questions in regards to those colors?
Do me a favor, make sure you have some for next week, Randy.
You don't need him to call, right? I just need him to.
Sorry about that. Go ahead, Paula.
I heard somebody ask a question. I wasn't sure who that was.
Paula, was that you? Okay, guess not. I was going to say, if you could bring some next week, I'm sure you will, to our managers.
I will.
Because I was not aware of the 5 new colors myself.
Okay. I'm making a note of that right now, Ted. I appreciate that.
Thank you. All right, go ahead.
And then moving forward from the Supreme wrapping film, which is a big item with Fellers, is our largest product category, to be quite honest with you. And another opportunity that I think is going to be very well received, and we've had some local success stories with these products, I know, here in Arizona, and that's our new Avery Dennison B4000 beaded reflective film. And this is 6 new colors of beaded reflective film, which is conformable and designed for vehicle wraps for medium curves and rivets. It's a beautiful material with a 7-year durability, and the white film is actually printable. Okay, and we've seen some jobs on that already that just look incredible. So if you have a commercial customer or any type of customer that really wants to spruce up their design of a particular vehicle install or a fleet of vehicles, I would really recommend that they try out our V4000 beaded reflective film. I think people are always trying to look for something new and catchy on the road, and some of the designs that these installers come up with and these designers come up with are just incredible. And I think if they could add a little bit more pop to it, in fact, with a beaded reflective film, this would actually add even a little bit more visibility to those wraps. Dave, have you had any experience or success stories? I know it's a relatively new product, but have you had any of your customers try this product out? Dave Timmerman?
Yeah, for sure. And the print quality on it is astounding. So we've done quite a bit of printing on it. And again, just laminating it. Anytime you put ink on any product, you want to make sure to cover it with the laminate, and the 1360 works great for that. And as well as the ease of putting it down. I know that with reflective films, it has been challenging with a permanent adhesive. This series will have a long-term removable as well as the easy RS part of the product. So it's going to lay down nice and easy for the customer. It will minimize any kind of bruising or scratching that they've seen with other products, and will reflect really, really good.
Hey, Dave and Randy. This is Chuck up in Boise. I was just making regular calls on Friday. I got a hold of my fast sign guy up in Whitefish, Montana, and I had noted that he had bought 10 yards of the V4000 Rad. And I just asked him, I want his feedback, and he goes, it's great. He goes, it laid down like regular color change vinyl. He was just raving about it. So I think you've got a home run there.
Well, that's great feedback,
great
Chuck. I would love to see any success stories and or pictures, maybe some before and after pictures of vehicles that have been installed with this film. I'd love to be able to share that with our marketing department, and I know Stacy Clausen in marketing at Fellers also loves to see pictures, especially with new product categories.
Does this one work on flat only, or it works well on curve?
It works great for flat with rivets, corrugations, and moderate curves. So when I was testing it, I pushed it in a Sprinter van just to really push it to see what it would do. I rolled it into the Sprinter van. I did not heat it, bridge it, and cram it in there, but I rolled it in there, and it conformed beautifully.
Oh, okay. It's great to know, because I have a customer have a project that supposed to wrap like a kind of like a pole for a metro. So he's trying to find a reflector that able to do that. So.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Holler at Tamara or Ryan Allen, and we'll make sure if they need any instructional bulletins or data sheets on that, we can get it to them.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, one thing Dave mentioned about the quality of the print performance. Just want you all to realize that the performance is across all digital platforms, including latex, solvent, eco solvent, and UV for the white film only. Any other questions in regards to our new V4000 beaded reflective film?
How many colors it came in again?
There's a total of 6 Angel. There's the white, the blue, the black, the red, the yellow, and the orange.
Okay.
Hey, Ted, how about if I put together an email to you today that has all these sell sheets and product data sheets that we're talking about that you could forward on to your team to make sure that they have access to this?
That would be great. I'd appreciate that.
Hey, Randy.
And speaking of that, oh yeah, Brian.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
And speaking of access, I know we had changed our channel partner portal a few months ago now. It's been, I guess. If you don't have access to it, you don't need to tell me over the line or Dave, or you haven't been in it for a while. That's cool. Just send me an email and we'll get you set up to make sure you do have real-time access to our channel partner portal that has a lot of this information on there. It's very, very very nice portal and very easy click and point, very easy to navigate. But if you don't or you haven't been on it for a while, I'd encourage you to familiarize yourself with it. And if you don't have access, please let us know and we'll get you that today. Yeah, Brian.
Hey, Randy, it's Brian. Back to your V4000 and 8000. If you can speak to what lamination on the white to use for that after they print it on. What is Avery's recommendation again?
I think
yeah, the
Dave
DOL 1360Z.
Is that correct, Dave?
Yep, yeah, that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our optically clear, as everyone knows, gloss over laminate that works great on this particular application for the beaded reflective. Good question.
Thank you.
One other topic that I wanted to touch on just very, very briefly, but you will hear about it. I want to make sure that you guys have all the information, is at SEMA, we launched a version of our Avery Dennison paint protection film. And for you that have been around for 8+ years, you might remember a term called nanofusion, which was the brand that Avery Dennison owned in regards to a paint protection film that was sold through our automotive division. So we have launched, along with our Avery Dennison window tint, we have launched a paint protection film. At this point, it will be sold through the window tint channel, which is a separate group of guys that manage that portfolio outside of graphics. But if you do have some customers that might be interested in it or anything, feel free to shoot myself or Dave or Tamara a note. And Cesar Enriquez, who is our counterpart down in Southern California, is the account manager for the Avery Dennison portfolio of window tint and the new PPF. So I know PPF is getting to be a very, very big product category, and a lot of these restylers and installers that we deal with on a regular basis for color change, and in some cases digital print. But just wanted to let you know that we have launched that product. It was a soft launch at SEMA. And I think we're going to be selling it through the reflective, or the window tint division at this point. That could change. But I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that product launch last month. Another real positive thing is, as part of the ERP implementation this year, unfortunately, Fellers had to turn off our direct orders this summer because we just weren't supplying Fellers with the amount of inventory and product on a timely basis to meet those direct orders, which is a big part of your overall business and customers that need product immediately that aren't stocked in the warehouse or not on the catalog or the website. But the good news is Yvonne, the supply chain team back at Fellers, have most recently turned on all of the Avery Dennison direct orders. So that is fantastic news for all of us on this phone. We have lost some volume, needless to say. Hopefully we haven't lost the customer. I don't think so. My gut feeling tells me, I've talked to a few customers, they're just waiting for us to turn it back on. So I just wanted to inform everybody on this phone call that direct orders have been turned on again. I think you were aware of that, weren't you, Ted?
Yes. And everybody on the call does know that too. So.
Okay. It's a big deal. I just wanted to reiterate it. I apologize for being redundant.
No problem.
As far as that goes too, one of our newer products that we launched about 1.5 years ago is our MPI 1405. That was off the Fellers website for a short period of time and actually was not going to be considered for the 2019 catalog because of lower sales than anticipated. But we were able to successfully get that back on the Fellers website, and it will be in the 2019 catalog. But we really have to go out there and try to find and execute some opportunities on some of these exterior concrete wall surfaces. They're going to be watching that product real quickly. If it doesn't generate the sales that are anticipated, it probably will be put back on a direct order basis only. But that's really, really good news, and they're giving us another 12 months to try to gain some additional sales on this product line. I've used it myself. I know I've been on a project with Dave Timmerman and Tamara personally back in Southern California earlier this year, I think it was. And the material goes on incredible. And then, of course, we back that up with our DOL 6460 non-PVC laminate as well. And speaking of that, I want to move in. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about moving customers over to the DOL 6460. If you haven't had those conversations with your installers, especially living in the zones 3 that are considered basically Arizona, the southern part of Nevada, Southern California, I would really recommend that you start to have some serious conversations with customers to provide them with at least a manufacturer warranty on those horizontal surfaces for a little over a year by using the DOL 6460. This product line, I mean, if you look at it, I was on the Feller's website this morning. If you look at the cost between a 1360Z comparable to a 6460, where we can actually give a manufacturer warranty on those horizontal surfaces, it's only 23 cents a square foot more by moving them up, trading those customers up to a 6460 laminate. And I would really highly encourage those on this phone that work in those zone 2 and especially zone 3 markets to try to get those customers moved into that particular laminate. And I tell you, some stuff that we're working on, I told you I'd share with a little bit of information into our pipeline for next year. We are working on and will be beta testing here very soon a matte version of the non-PVC 6460 equivalent in a matte version, because we're getting a lot of requests outside of gloss to come up with something in terms of a matte finish. And that tells me that people are happy with the performance of the 6460. They would just like to be able to offer something else to the customer outside of gloss. Does anybody have any specific? Oh, yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to reiterate, again, like Randy said, if you have clients in California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, this is a critical product because currently no other laminate has a horizontal warranty. So if a customer says, hey, I'm browning out on my roof, my hood, even those little parts that round up to the window, those are not covered under warranty. So for customer's sake, make sure they know that there is an option for the 6460 that will give them that coverage that they need for those horizontal warranties, especially in the zone 2 and the zone 3. And we do have a really good instructional bulletin that we'd be happy to send out to you guys that illustrate exactly where those zones are and how California's broken up, Nevada's broken up, Utah. They are broken up into different zones. So just to make sure that they understand what's covered, what's not, because I would much rather have everybody educated on this rather than, hey, we want to put in a claim and we have to tell them no, that the claim will be non-verified and they'll have to redo it on their own. So make sure you know and they know that this option is available for them.
Can you send us?
I was just going to add, yeah, thank you, Angel. I was actually, Dave, can you send that to me and I'll send it out to the team so that everybody has that particular map, because that's something that was asked about a couple weeks ago when we were together. So
yeah, I'll send that to you, Ted. Thank you.
Keep in mind, that is the zone for Avery, but just to let you know, that's pretty much going to be your zone classifications for just about any vinyl, guys. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, that's pretty much, yeah, Dave, if you could take that as a follow-up. I know that gets to be really tricky. Even I'm looking at the map of California, and the state of California, to be honest with you, has 3 specific zones in the state, and it has it all mapped out literally by county. So it can get a little complicated. Colorado as well has 3 zones. So we will send that out to you, Ted, for you to forward out to your team today.
Thank you.
Another point looking into 2019 is the amount of rap classes that we have committed to for the year. And Justin Page, who most of you I'm sure have heard of, a lot of you have probably met personally at the various industry trade shows and rap classes, will continue to be doing a lot of classes for us this next year. But we will also have a couple additional helpers to reach a wider market and a wider audience moving forward into 2019. And just to give you an idea what that looks like for the Western region, we have a total of 5 digital classes scheduled just within the Western region for next year. And a digital class is basically what we consider a beginner or intermediate class that's focused on commercial print. On top of that, we have a total of 6 advanced classes, which also dovetail into a certification exam opportunity on that 3rd day. Certification exam is a separate class, but we have 6 advanced classes, which is basically color change, that the folks are working with all of the various Supreme wrapping film colors to wrap an entire car. And we also provide them the opportunity to work with chrome at our expense. So Justin will talk to them about the characteristics of chrome versus some of the other materials, the characteristics of a matte finish versus a gloss finish. It's an outstanding class. And I think I sent over the link to you, Ted, and the other RSMs a few months ago, outlining those classes for next year. I know they're on our website, but if you still have that link, and if you haven't forwarded it on to the team, you might want to get that out to them just so they can start putting some of those dates on their calendar for next year.
I have it right here. And I believe guys, I think I sent this out to you, correct? Don't worry about it. I'll send it to you again.
Well, my 30 minutes is almost over. Once again, I really appreciate, and I know I can speak for Dave and Tamara and the entire Avery Dennison team. Molly Waters works with us on a regular basis, as most of you know, on the technical support. We have a new hire, Ryan Allen, who's based out of Las Vegas. That'll also be your technical support manager for the majority of the Western region. Ryan replaces Dave Timmerman, who you all know has jumped into a regional sales manager role earlier on. So we've got a new team. We're really excited about the finish to the year. We're really excited about 2019. I just wanted to wish you and your families a very, very happy holidays. And I'd like to try to get on some type of a cadence with you, Ted, to be able to do these types of conference calls maybe once a quarter. I think it's really, really important to keep abreast of what's going on out there. And I know we have a lot of areas to cover. You guys are stretched real thin. Dave and Tamara and I are also stretched equally as thin. And sometimes I think this is working a little bit smarter than harder if we can all get together and hear the message on a consistent basis, maybe once a quarter, this would be really helpful.
I agree. I think that's a great idea that we can actually probably make that happen. Because once a quarter is not a big, it should not be a big deal. So we'll talk about that, Randy, as we go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any other questions for Randy or David?
Yeah, did you guys fix the issue of that? Was it 1360 lamp? That little, was it a little cloudy or something like that on the lamp? When people, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. They've been working hard on that, and to minimize any kind of haze that they would see in that. Again, if a customer does see any of that, just make sure they can put on their heat assist on their heater, and that would help minimize that. Or as they're post heating, make sure they post heat those spots, and it will dissipate and go away. But we have done a lot to minimize that and to get rid of that altogether. So, but if you do have anything that comes up that heat does not take away those marks, please reach out to Ryan Allen or your sales rep for your region, and we'll make sure to get those taken care of.
Okay.
David, that brings up a good point. What would be the proper heat setting on it? For instance, a heat gun, to be able to do a good post heat to make sure that that cloudiness goes away? Is there in a particular temperature?
Well, if they do a heat assist on their laminator, don't go higher than 110, as you don't want that to stretch the material and then have it cool after it's on the printed surface. So the heat assist about 110. And then the post heating, you can get up to about 190 on the post heat when you're hitting the heat direct. And it's best to do it with a heat gun, as it's more of a gradual heat. That way they're not burning their graphics after they put it on there with the torch. So, and if it is with the torch, just they should know how to work it, but just make sure to spread that heat out and not concentrate it in one spot.
Thank you.
Good question.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? Well, I guess that's pretty much it. Is there anything else that you have, David or Randy, that you wanted to say?
I don't think at this time, Ted. I think we've covered a lot in 30 minutes.
Yeah, we sure have. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for showing up and presenting and everything else. Do appreciate that. I'm Randy. I'll be seeing you next week in Tulsa.
Yes,
So if there's anything else that does come up, my team will be sending me emails. If they think of anything, then I can go ahead and talk to you about it then, maybe, if needed be. Okay?
I have a question for the team whenever Randy and Dave are done.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good day.
Appreciate your time. Thank you. Team, stay on, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Hey, I know in my area, me and Mary have been working with Kevin Arnold, and it's been a good thing. I don't know if the rest of the West has had any run-ins with Kevin hitting their franchises. Some people take it to heart to say, what is he doing in my zone, et cetera, but I wanted to speak on it because Kevin has actually helped me a lot, and I wanted to thank him because I know sometimes he gets crapped on, so it is what it is. But if he does jump in your area, guys, use him to your advantage, because he has actually helped turn a few of my franchises around, and it frees up a little bit of time for me as well. So Kevin, I definitely want to say thank you for helping me on my Signoramas and with pricing and stuff of that nature, and just follow up. Seriously, I know some people take it the wrong way, but I'm actually going to take it the right way and applaud you for it.
And I will second that. Kevin has done a lot to help us a great deal for the franchises, at least the Signoramas. And, as you guys know, that Kevin has put on different projects and things like that. And right now, this is the project he is on. So he is authorized to do this. And, thank you. Anybody else? Questions, thoughts, problems? Good. I'll send out the recording to everybody, let you know if there's, or let me know, like I said in an email, if there's anything I need to bring up at the managers meeting next week so that I can have that put together. I really appreciate that. But other than that, have yourself a fantastic day and a great week, okay? Keep in mind, I do have my jury duty, my last jury duty this week, so I'll be slow to respond. And same with next week, I'll be very slow to respond because of the fact that we're in the managers meeting. So, okay?
So if I have emergency, who do I go to?
Well, Angel, if you have an emergency, you can still call me. But unfortunately, all the managers are going to be in a meeting next week.
Oh.
So it's going to be, it's going to be really hard to do just about anything. Now,
Is it easier to text you or?
they can text me. Seriously, guys, if I'm still going to have my phone on me, if it's really bad, just call or send me a text, and I will, see what we can do to. Or so I will, if I can, I'll step out to try to help. But make sure it's a really total emergency, not something you can't take care of on your own.
Sorry, guys, I got booted off. Brian, you started to talk, and I got disconnected.
You missed it.
You missed all the bad thing he talked about.
I started to hear him say, I started to hear him say good things, but then I got all of a sudden my computer froze. And I'm like, oh shit.
Hey, Kevin, just to recap on what I was saying, I was telling the team that, some people might freak out that you're working their area, their zone, whatever you want, territory. But I wanted to say thanks for what you've helped me with, and I know you've helped Mary with as well on the franchises. It's been a good thing. You freed up some of my time. Not that I'm not still doing my job, but you've helped me with pricing. You've helped me, you've gotten in front of that customer with samples quicker sometimes. So thanks. And I was just letting everybody know that, it's not a bad thing that you're necessarily what you're trying to do. It's a good thing, at the end of the day. And Ted was seconding the emotion.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, we made really big strides in Phoenix with all the Signoramas. I haven't been tasked with anybody other than Signorama, but it can happen with all of them as well. So, I mean, if there's somebody you need help with, and it's a Fast Signs, hey, we all play for the same team. So I can still do that as well, which we've done. So, yeah.
I done a couple with Kevin.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And so, no, I appreciate that. So get with me, guys. I mean, if you have anything that you need screenshots on, especially just get with me. That way it frees up Ted as well. If it's non-franchise, go to him. But if it's franchise, you can lean on me because we're all after the same goals.
Yeah, so I just didn't want people people freak out like, hey, what's this guy doing over here? Well, it's not a bad thing necessarily. So
that's true.
No, I appreciate that.
All right. Any other questions? Anything else? Okay. Have a great week, everybody, and a great day. And Angel and everybody else, if you do have an emergency, keep in mind this week you can actually go ahead and talk with Patricia. You should have her email. Patricia is in our Eastern region, and she's very graciously said that she'll help in emergency situations if I'm not able to get back to you quickly enough. But honestly, I should be able to. I think we've handled everything this entire year without having to use anybody else. So, but if there was an emergency and you just can't, and you need something immediately for this week, the last week, you can call Patricia. But next week, everybody's going to be in a manager's meeting, so you're going to just have to text me I'll see if I can get a way to get you helped. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Anything else? That's it? Have a great week, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ted.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Ted.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
on.